Have you wondered what are the benefits to home staging, how much it costs here in the San Jose area? Well, stay tuned. We're getting into that today. Hi, I'm Theresa Wellman with HomeownerExperience.com, and today we're talking about home staging, the benefits, how much it costs, whether you should do it or not. So let's go ahead and get started. So what is home staging? Let's first classify that. First off, staging means preparing a home for the buyer or setting the stage. That could mean cleaning, decorating, home prep steps like taking care of the honey-do list, doing a fresh coat of paint, as well as rearranging or bringing in different furniture. So staging is a really wide term, so I want to make sure you understand the vocabulary we're using. Now, as I see it, there's two phases of staging. Part A is where you're going to be doing the honey-do list, you're cleaning, you're getting everything fresh and well-maintained and really prepared. Part B is where you're going to focus on the furniture, and maybe that means purging and packing, bringing in furniture, rearranging pictures, neutralizing your photos and family items. The goal of staging is obviously to make your home most appealing to the buyer and also to attract as many people as possible to the home. So how much does it cost to stage a home in the San Jose area? Well, for staging part B, where we're actually bringing in furniture, which is what a lot of people think of when they think of staging, it's going to cost anywhere from $2,500 to $4,000. Now that depends on the size of home, and I've seen some a little bit cheaper. Obviously, if it's a condo, it's going to be cheaper. But for the average 2,000 square foot home, that's the range. And the variance there is going to be, do you have a living room and a family room? How many bedrooms do you have? Do you need outdoor furniture? So that kind of provides for the whole range. And are we bringing in just key sets for certain rooms like the living room, or are we staging the entire property like you vacated and there's nothing left? So that gives you an idea of the whole price point and range. Now in San Jose, that's a really small portion relative to the actual value of the home. So that's great news. If you'd like to know about the other costs to sell a home, definitely check out my home selling video. I'll put it below and link it up above, because if we go through all the costs to sell a home, including this home prep, the staging part A or the home prep phase, I recommend sellers spend in the 2 to 3% of home value for San Jose. Now, obviously, other areas, the price points are very different, but here in San Jose, with the median home price of about $1.5 million, a lot of sellers are going to spend between the $20,000 and $30,000 range to prep and stage their home. That includes interior painting, cleaning, maybe repairs, could be exterior painting or redoing some parts of a bathroom. So there's all kinds of factors that go into that, but definitely no more than 3%. And you're only doing 3% if you've got some major repairs that need to happen, like a bathroom that's got a leak that we need to address and redo. Okay, so most people are going to spend around 2%. Now, who pays for staging? That is the next question I get often. Well, here at Homeowner Experience, we actually have different listing packages that give you the flexibility to choose what's right for you. So if you would like to just have your furniture brought in and you've got your house prepped and ready to go all done, then the seller typically would pay staging in that case. Now, if you're asking for the listing agent's advice on colors and decisions and cohesiveness and how to update your home to today's buyer, that consultation, as well as we offer almost a project management type thing where we're going to give you our recommended contractors. We're going to coordinate multiple bids, coordinate their work, and make sure it's getting done. So if you're working a busy job or you've left the area, this package is really popular. I have a great video from a seller who did this and their experience, so I will also put that in the description below. But basically, we offer a range. And if we're doing all of that project management and the full prep and staging of the property, then we do include the cost of staging in that package. So you definitely want to explore which package might be right for you and talk to different agents to see what they offer. If you want to talk more about details of the packages that we offer, please call or text me at the number on the screen, or you'll find a link below in the description to our calendar. You can set up a quick 15-minute call right on our schedule, and then we can discuss some of your thoughts and questions and go from there. All right, so now what are the benefits of home staging? I get a lot of questions about the benefits of staging your home for sale. Why would you do it? So first off, I'm going to say you really want to honor your home by putting away all your personal items and protecting your memories, protecting the items that are precious to you. So it really makes sense to pre-pack the home. So that is really an important part of staging. The second thing is Thinking about valuables, which I briefly mentioned there. When people look through your closet or maybe your kitchen cabinets, you want to protect yourself, you want to feel safe, and you don't want to feel like you're being exposed. So you want to honor your personal space and protect that by doing a lot of pre-packing ahead of time. Also, staging and preparing for the sale is really helpful in regards to stress and anxiety, because we don't want you worrying about different pieces of your property or, like I said, invading your space. I've found that sellers that go through that process on their own timeline are much more relaxed during the home sale process, which is really important, of course. The other huge benefit of staging is it shows off the function of your space. I've gone into so many homes where people have really large couches to accommodate their family, or they use a bedroom for something different that maybe isn't the best way to show off the space. So when we come in and we stage, we're going to make sure that people understand the full function of the property. Maybe this is even like you have a very large kitchen and you could have a homework center in your kitchen, and we want to stage for that. So really thinking about who your buyer is and what the function is and what's the maximum opportunity for your space is really important. But also we want to show off your space. So if your furniture is really large, you're going to want to consider getting smaller furniture to make the space feel even more roomy, and so that buyers can imagine themselves in there. What I find here in San Jose is that many home buyers are very left-brained. They don't necessarily know how to lay out a house very well. They're thinking about function, but the emotional aspect is when you see a beautiful home or a model home and you think, oh my gosh, this could be mine. Having that feeling is what the professionals are really good at. They are good at putting together neutral spaces that get buyers excited about your home so that you get more people coming in to see those pictures just really shine. All of those different factors really important and a huge benefit to staging your home. One other benefit that a lot of people don't talk about is it can detract from some of the negative or imperfections of your property. For example, I had a listing where there was an interesting room that was kind of awkward between the dining room kitchen area and the formal dining room. And the seller had just used it for storage and kind of throwing things in there, which obviously doesn't show off the space very well. So we took that space, which had beautiful windows and kind of was a walk-through space to different rooms, and made it into a homework center. We had a couple different tables and chairs and then a reading corner. It was a really awesome space once it was staged, and it made a huge benefit on the impression of buyers when they came through that property. So does staging help sell your house? Well, I think probably based on what I'm saying above, you probably think it does. But is it a requirement? Well, that goes again to you and who you think your buyer is going to be, or who the agent you hire thinks your buyer is going to be. What I can tell you is that staging will attract more buyers into your home. And ultimately, the more people you get in to see, the better offer that you're going to have, or potentially multiple offers you're going to have to net you the best price. Also, more people coming in is going to mean that your property is going to sell faster. And also, as mentioned above, staging gets the emotion of buyers really heightened so that they come in with a really strong offer for you and they're excited to move in, and everything to your benefit. If they come in and they feel like the house is really dated or old, all they see is dollar signs and work. And we don't want that, because that becomes a barrier to buyers. And lastly, staging does help sell a house because it really helps buyers to imagine themselves in the space. Staging will maximize the volume of the space, like we talked about with furniture sizes, for example, but it also neutralizes. We're going to take anything personal off and have all the art coordinated so it flows really well, and it just makes buyers very excited and feel like your property is a model home that they want to move right into. Now, what are the pros and cons of staging a house? Is it really worth it? Well, ask yourself, like I mentioned briefly, who is your buyer? Does that buyer live the same as you do? Do they have the same taste as you? Many times, buyers that are moving into your property maybe are what you were 20 or 30 years ago. So your tastes and their tastes are probably quite different. So definitely think about that, because you want to market your home to today's buyers, not to people who are like you, maybe moving out of the area. So think about that. Discuss your actual buyer and audience with a very strong listing agent who's familiar with the area. I think one of the huge advantages of staging, and one of the huge pros, that you get to take advantage of pre-packing, going through your items in your house, really making decisions on what you want to keep and what you want to get rid of, all in your own timeline. I've had sellers take up to 6 months to go through this process because it can be emotional. It's also could be a really large job if you've been there for a long time. For example, I've had sellers that have been in their property over 40 years, and it takes them a long time to think about what they really want to keep, what they can donate and get rid of, what is just time to replace because it's been in the house so long. And you want to have that time on your own. So doing all of that up front allows your own timeline. Once we get the home on the market, that timeline is likely going to move pretty fast, and you don't want to be in the middle of packing while you're trying to show off your house. So all of those factors are a huge benefit to you to get it done ahead of time. And I find a lot of sellers are very proud of their house. They are super excited about a potential buyer coming in and the updates that they've done and the things that they've done to the house. So staging is going to take your property and make it just showcase, make it show like a model home and make it shine so that it is presented as a top line product, but also really honoring your memories and your work that you've done in the property. So maybe you're still asking yourself, should I stage my house to sell? Or why is it important to stage your home? Well, hopefully I gave you some answers, but here are some facts. Stage homes do sell faster. Stage homes do sell for more money as well. So if you're looking for a smooth sale for top dollar, staging is definitely something that you should consider. But homeowners, it is a really important decision that you have to make. Working with an agent who is familiar with your market, knows what buyers are looking for, and can give you a custom consultation as to how your house relates to what buyers are looking for. I'd be happy to have that consultation with you. We can have a quick phone call to connect and then set up a time to meet at your house. You can schedule that phone call on my calendar down below, or call or text me at the number on the screen, also listed in the description below. I have many sellers reaching out to me 6 months to a year before they plan to move, so they can get started on this process early on and really get some expert advice. So I highly recommend that process if you are considering staging and wondering what to do. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope I addressed a lot of your questions and concerns about staging and a whole bunch of the benefits to you as a seller that you should really consider when deciding whether your property should be staged or not. Thank you for joining me.